Ooh, man. We're live with another Live and Undead. How tantalizing! Live and Undead, I am your host, Daniel Crosier, and I am joined by Late Night Ghouls!
You write something on my face?
Technical stuff. Oh, come on. Let's add the ladies into the stream. There they are. Hello! Kim and Liz, how are you?
Awesome.
We're doing okay.
Awesome. So, Kim, you go by the moniker Crazysexyghoul, and Liz, you are Pretty Hate Machine. My gosh, it sounds like you're your own, stage names for amazing bands. I love it.
We missed that boat.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Just there's never, any time, that is the wrong time. Yeah, right now,
That's
just
true.
hop in there, make some music. I'm telling you. Ladies, thanks for being so generous with your time coming on the show. You have an amazing podcast, Late Night Ghouls. Can you tell us a little bit about that, about yourselves, and how the two of you teamed up for this amazing venture?
Well, I do always think it's funny that we met online and both of our usernames are references to 90s albums that were amazing. So I think it was Kismet because it was, you love 90s music and horror. Do you want to be best friends? Yeah, here you go.
Yeah.
Plus we both have bangs, obviously that's how that goes.
That's the uniting factor.
But the real story of how we started talking, I think is adorable and says a lot about why we do this podcast together. I don't know if you want to talk about it or.
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
So we both loved the same special effects designer of horror films of the time, just before our monikers arose from, and we were both following him online, and that would be Screaming Mad George, who I'm representing with my T-shirt tonight too. We are big fans of him. So, got to talking, and we have a lot in common, and we have a passion for all things creepy.
It was amazing just how much we had in common. Just to have Screaming Mad George fandom in common alone is, just to be able to talk to somebody about something so special to me, and she got it. She understood what I was saying. It wasn't just superficial knowledge. She understood the depth of how much I love this stuff, and to have somebody to throw out anything at any time and she completely understands what you're talking about in the world of horror. Anything that I say, she understands immediately, and I was like, what can we do with this best friendship? Let's start a podcast.
Nice. How long ago was this?
But we've been friends for years.
Mm-hmm.
The podcast didn't come to full fruition until last fall.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, so this has been a recent occurrence.
Yes, it was kind of like we were talking every day, And we were talking about these like niche topics and we were like, people should talk about this. This is fun. And then one day we were like, I wonder if people would listen to our bullshit. And
I'll listen to it. Yeah, it's like I was saying before we went on live. I listened to 3 of your podcasts earlier today. The Death Becomes Her one review that you guys conducted. Wow, tremendous research. I had no idea that whole idea was to be a script for Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah. It's like I was saying before we started recording, all of this, it seems like we get on these tangents and we get on these runs of ideas and things that we love and that we want to express and share, and then it leads to something else. And that got us deep into our love of Tales from the Crypt. Zemeckis in general, but Tales from the Crypt especially. And then we're bouncing stuff back and forth off of each other, and then we get to do all of these things for Chattanooga Film Fest, and they ask us to do a live script reading of the never made Tales from the Crypt film, Dead Easy, and with the producers, Al Katz and Bill Adler, and like they're in this with us, and we're like, wow, like all of this stuff just always seems to add up to something bigger and better. So I
Cool.
think we're creating something big.
Yeah, that's awesome, especially to see like an unproduced script come to life, for a real audience. What a treasure.
It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with those voiceovers.
Nice. Yeah. Did you have like a full cast, or was it the producers kind of helping you out fill out those roles?
the producers played one. Well, Al Katz did one of the voices, and then they had a whole lineup of actors that came from productions they showed at Chattanooga Film Fest lend their voices, and then Liz, myself, and her husband, and a couple other people that supported the film fest. It was a lot of fun and very funny.
It really was
Heartwarming, surprisingly heartwarming.
That's so cool. Well, and those creative projects where you can gather so many people together, it's so endearing to kind of connect on these creative projects, like that, and of course like the podcast too. I love listening to you guys. I put it on while I was like working in the studio, it's so much fun to just to listen to your guests, and how everybody just loves the genre. What is can I ask what is the audience response been for you?
overwhelmingly positive,
Yep.
actually. Like, we were really worried about that at first, because that was we were like, we love hearing ourselves talk, but will other people love hearing ourselves talk too?
Right.
So that it's been unreal, the support that we have gotten. We
Good.
started, like, it just never really dawned on us that we had so many friends in the industry. So we would have people reach out to us and say, hey, could we be on your show? And then we had people reach out to us that we completely admired that we did not know, just reach out to us and say, hey, can we be on your show? It's unreal.
That's awesome. In such a short amount of time too.
Yeah.
Well, I think what was cool was that we built up the like friendships and stuff that we had online with other people too so much over the years that we had a built-in audience, because we're both really into, like, what's cooler than meeting other people that are like-minded online and actually having people that you talk to and understand you. So by the time we actually did the show, we'd already built such like a community of people to like talk to and that got excited for us.
Nice.
The support we got was awesome.
That's so cool. And you guys are on different time zones.
Mm-hmm.
So do you always meet up at like horror conventions and film festivals? Is that usually when you see each other in person?
We've only seen each other in person one time in our
What?
entire year, in the years of friendship, one
We
time.
just met last week in person for the first time.
And it was like we didn't skip a beat. Like, it
I
was
know.
just like we had always been around each other. It was
Oh,
not weird or anything at all. It's just like we were supposed to be there.
And we
That's-
stayed in one hotel room together with her husband. And it was like not weird. I just felt like I had roommates
It's just
that I
family.
knew. Yeah.
wow. I wouldn't have expected that. In the podcast, you guys seem to be very supportive of each other, and yeah, I guess that's just the power of the internet. Being able
Yeah.
to
For sure.
bring meaningful connections together, and man, that's amazing. so you've only met once, and it was last week. That's
Yep.
hilarious. Oh my god! Please tell me that you guys watched a lot of movies together in that short period of time.
Well, we were
Well,
at the film festival, so
we were hosting movies together
Okay.
and introducing and doing Q&As with filmmakers and actors together. We did watch some Tim Robinson, I Think You Should Leave together. We were able to share some of that. That was great.
I'd never seen it. I in my mind, everything that happened in that show was something that Liz said to me. So I finally got to see what it was.
It's now part of my permanent lexicon. So
Nice. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. My girlfriend and I, we watched part of the first season, like, a couple years ago when it first came out. Didn't think anything of it, and then we revisited like 2 weeks ago when the third season dropped, and we can't get enough of it now. It's now, I think it's kind of seasoned enough. It's aged well,
Mhm.
in only a few short years. That now we can't live without it.
I can't
It's not-
either. We can't. Like, it's just part of this household. So it's spilled onto her. And now she knows why. Now she's like, "Oh, it's not just things you say all the time. This is an actual show."
Yeah,
Yeah.
she would tell me it was a show, and I'm like, sure it is. It's not just some random story.
Oh my god! There's that. I don't know if you caught it, but there's that skit where Tim gets made up in some really bad full body latex bodysuit, and then goes into the mall. And it's
Carl
supposed to-
Havoc.
Yeah, Carl Havoc. That's right. And then as soon as that thing comes on, it's just we're on the floor just dying of laughter.
And it's
just-
no matter how many times you've seen it.
Yep.
It's that funny every time you watch it. Carl has me like, I don't even want to be here. Like, just
Yeah.
I
Yes,
just lose
yes.
it.
That is the line. Oh my gosh. Yeah. We just lose it. And we're just like, oh my God, we can't watch this anymore unless we're near the toilet. I think we're going to lose all bodily function. We can't figure it out. It just, the kickoff with that line just kind of tickles us in such a uncomfortable, hilarious way, but man, that show is just absolutely amazing. I love it. Do you ever sit there, well, we talked a little bit about like Death Becomes Her, and one of my favorite genres when it comes to horror is the horror comedy. Is there anything else that doesn't necessarily get defined as horror, because Death Becomes Her, it's one of those that I think was considered a comedy first, and had horror elements later. Is there any other films out there that you would recommend needs to be reevaluated in such a way?
There's a ton, actually. Like, horror comedy is such a broad spectrum. Like, you could even put splatter films like Brain Dead. You could put that into horror comedy. My favorite horror film of all time is Evil Dead 2, and I definitely consider that a horror comedy.
Yes.
But things that are on, like, Death Becomes Her has such a unique, and now we know it's one long Tales from the Crypt episode. It has
Right.
such a unique tone to
When
it.
you said splatter films, I thought you were going to say Splash.
They're the ultimate
And I was
horror
like,
comedy.
that's kind of a horror comedy.
We need to make that into a horror comedy, like where Madison just eats everybody. That'd be awesome.
Ooh, yeah. It'd be more accurate with some mermaid tales,
For sure.
But yeah, at the same time too, like one of the ideas I keep thinking about is like when you're watching a movie is, especially like for somebody like Madison in Splash, is she's that literal fish out of water going through this city. I mean, and how horrifying is that? It's like, yeah, it's funny because she's a fish out of water. It's like, but she's in a whole new world, and these people are taking advantage of her left and right. I would argue even Tom Hanks's character, is to some degree. Yeah, it's like there's elements there that I think could be further examined and discussed. But yeah, I would love to see a flesh-eating mermaid just go through New York and just rip.
You've seen The Lure. Now see Splash 2.
Yeah, Splash 2.
We need to make that. So we write films out in our, like, we'll talk it out. We've written a Hellraiser sequel that is a sequel in line with Breakin' 2. How did we do that? How did we go from Turbo and Ozone? What was it? They were restoring an old warehouse to make their new dance studio, and they find a lament configuration in the wall. Like, this is stuff that we talk about all the time, and we write these films. I don't know how or like how our brains mesh so well, but they do.
Yeah. Oh wow, that sounds amazing. Just taking an offbeat premise and figuring out how it looks in. So when you say write these scripts, you talk these out. Are you actually putting pen to paper or typing away?
Some of
them we do.
I write everything down, so I start and I'm on planes all the time, so I'm just like, that was a really good idea.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I want to hear these pitches. These sound great. Why isn't Hollywood calling you guys?
Exactly. I don't know. Somebody needs to be.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to hire us for their new Soska Sisters.
Yes.
Soska Sisters, but creepier. I was thinking though, I'm still thinking about horror comedies. Do we consider Nothing But Trouble?
Yes.
Horror comedy? Do we consider The Burbs?
I was about to say, when he brought up Tom Hanks, I was like, The Burbs is the example.
Right.
Those were the two things that popped in my head for you. And I was like, I wonder if she would consider those horror. See what I mean?
Yeah.
She gets it.
Yeah. That's going from like The Burbs and then to Joe Dante, also directed by Joe Dante, Gremlins 2.
Yep.
That one's a little bit more slapstick, but that's got a special place in my heart. We
love Gremlins too.
Yeah. And then what was the one that Alex Winter directed?
Freaked.
Freaked.
Yeah, that's one that of that era I still haven't seen, and I keep seeing stills and the trailers always haunting me and stuff.
It's so good.
Is it?
It is so good, and that is also Screaming Mad George's effects. That's one of the films that brought us together.
Ooh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Have you ever reviewed that film for your podcast?
No, but I'm writing that down right now because that actually needs to go on our roster.
See, I love these discussions because it gets the creative juices going, and we're now kind of seeing a little bit of how you guys kind of develop ideas and stuff, and hearing a little bit about that. With the pitches too, do you ever take an episode and just kind of read like one of your ideas or concepts?
No, but I bet we could. Maybe we should look into doing
Maybe we should. Or maybe we shouldn't, because we might get a knock on our door and a involuntary stay to a mental ward.
Well, I think all you would get is a cease and desist. So it's like, wow, you elevated that to the top shelf real quick. Man, that would be awesome. Scott just chimed in, and I think he really likes the mermaid idea. Tom
Tommy's
eats
mermaid.
Oh, Tom. No, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of Madison eating Tom.
Me too. Tom eating the mermaid makes it a lot more like hostile type. Like we don't want to go on that territory.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, somebody could, but I don't think that would be us.
Yeah. I guess Eli Roth needs a new hit. So really, here you go, Eli.
Here you go, buddy.
Yeah, there's one for you. In the last 20 years, I remember when like the American torture porn movies, Hostel, Saw was coming out. For me that was some rough stuff, but as a result, that was my entry point to like some of the Japanese like Takashi Miike films. Do you ever find yourself like digging deep in foreign films? Anything that tickles your fancy?
You want to go? Or you want me to go?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm thinking.
So I'm outside of horror, Akira Kurosawa is one of my favorite filmmakers ever. Yes. And I'm a sucker for a samurai. So anything on that vein of Japanese films, I'd especially love. Yojimbo is probably my favorite of his films, if I had to pick. But foreign films for me, like when you go into foreign horror, it's weird because Italian is obviously foreign horror, but I clump that all into everything else, I guess, because I'm so immersed in Italian horror that I don't consider it foreign at this point. But if I had to pick a subset of foreign horror, it would definitely be Italian for me.
Nice. It's also arguably like the largest collection of non-American horror films in one place, so it makes sense that it wouldn't seem as foreign to us because we watch it all the time because there's such a broad category of it. Yeah.
Recently I've been introduced by a friend of mine, Teresa Mercado. She does a film series called Scream in town of all these like obscure Italian giallo films and stuff, and even some really not bizarre, but just wouldn't really think of them as giallo, but American ones too. Like there was one with Lindsay Lohan, I Know Who Killed Me by Paul Schrader, and then a few others that were just fantastic in their aesthetic and how they convey these whodunits and stuff. And so when it comes to Italian horror movies, mostly what I knew was like the actual supernatural stuff, in terms of like zombie films and was it Dario Argento movies as well. So I had a really thin knowledge of the Italians, but it's always it's always interesting to hear that they've got the the next biggest catalog of horror movies next to the U.S. And I always thought it was like more Asian to be that, but yeah, thinking on that, Italian's kind of the way to go, wouldn't it?
It's definitely is with me.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with once I realized what Lucio Fulci was when I was a teenager, thanks to Rob Zombie, thanks to a concert where I saw a scene from Zombie, and I had to ask people at the video store, what was this that I saw? Yeah. And I was able to dig deeper that way. That's like I went through probably like 10 years of nothing but searching out Italian horror films.
Nice. Wow.
And that was like beginnings of internet days. So that was not an easy task.
Oh yeah, back then, and you're probably looking for everything on like DVD.
Yeah, showing up at Walden Books and getting the Cult Flicks and Trash Picks book,
Nice.
and taking it home and hiding it in my bedroom and
Nice.
searching out each movie.
That's so cool. Kim, was that kind of the same thing for you? Like, kind of seeking out a lot of Italian films?
I think that, I mean, for a long time, it was just because there were so many of them in that time period when I was growing up in like the early 90s. There were so many available. I, again, didn't really like think of the Italian influence. But then I started thinking about how my exposure to Giallo was really with the 1992 American film Popcorn, and how if you go backwards, that's like Stage Fright from Soavi, who he was influenced to make by his mentor, who was Argento. So it's like going backwards into like opera to Stage Fright to Popcorn. And then I got totally lost in space thinking about that, because that's also the order that I watched those movies. Popcorn came first because it came out prime horror watching time for me. But it really is the Giallo in that same vein of like Stage Fright.
Nice. Oh wow, that's so cool. Yeah, God, in the early 90s, yeah, you're looking for really obscure VHS tapes.
Well, that was just what was available. I lived the video store near me was like a little closet. It was called the Video Den on Edgemont Avenue in Brookhaven, Pennsylvania. But it was like so small, it was a closet, and everything, all the horror boxes to me just looked so illuminated. So they were appealing, and I had cousins that would rent movies to make me be quiet when they were babysitting me, and I got to watch whatever I wanted. So I got the brightest boxes, or the most, I mean, spooky stuff's alluring. So I got the spooky, alluring boxes.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, the big VHS, art boxes, or the art on there, it was just so attractive for those horror movies, especially the horror movies. It seemed like, we got a little video store in my like rural town that I grew up in, Crosier Video, and we had like just like 2 rows of horror. And not a lot, but the most prominent thing, most beautiful cover on there was the Monster Squad. So I rented that every week when I was God, how old was I? I think I was 11. So that was the only thing I could get away with over there. Till mom and dad, would drive me to the bigger city, and that's where they had the beautiful, large cases of really obscure stuff that I've never heard of until my dad introduced me to the Toxic Avenger. And then B movies. Oh God, I loved B movies. We had I think you guys have worked with Lloyd in some capacity.
Yeah,
Nice.
He's been on the show.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
cool. I'm gonna have to go back and catch that interview. But we had him out here last year, and we saw that Trauma got kicked off of YouTube, and there's that that sign up sheet to get signatures to get Trauma back on YouTube, so to reach its audience.
Yeah, and we have the links for that on our Instagram pages for people that want to sign. Okay. Just because having freedom of expression is important, but also having the right to your own data, because they won't even give them their videos back.
Right, the videos are just gone. So that's the most disheartening part for both of us, is that these people have just lost their work.
Oh my God.
So we don't know, what this will do, but we're hoping that it's something for Lloyd and the company to have. We're just over, last time I checked today, we were just over 1,000 signatures. So hopefully we can get that going.
Okay. Yeah. After this broadcast, I'll be able to, add that link into the comment section and get have our viewers, participate in that and see if they can, if we can help make that difference. Yeah, it's I mean that's definitely a form of censorship that's just absolutely infuriating. And for companies like Trauma too, how else do you really generate an audience? You got to have that video content when you're a video company, a film company like that.
And it just breaks our hearts that this happened right at their 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
Right.
Just garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty infuriating. Shoot. Kind of reflecting on that, can you talk about your experiences, working or having Lloyd on your show and, meeting, because you guys have met him at shows before, right?
I actually just met him recently because he comes to Monster Vegan in Philadelphia, which is my favorite restaurant, but Trauma does video showings there, so.
Nice.
And he's just such an awesome guy who hangs out with a really just cool group of inspired people.
Yeah. It's I've always thought of him as like my Roger Corman. I mean, Roger Corman's still around. He's amazing, and he's given way to the careers of such amazing filmmakers that have changed culture. But I would say that Lloyd is done the same too.
Mm-hmm. We also have an episode on Roger Corman from one of our earliest podcasts. It's about the Corman post cycle with our musician friend Dennis Kahlo, who also does a really cool theatrical collective with his wife where they have different media formats that they work in, including film and podcasting. They're hilarious, and they're also just really cool.
They're just Renaissance people in general. Filmmakers, actors, musicians, you name it, podcasters.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Man, so it sounds like you guys have been able to get access and work with all kinds of amazing talents. What is there an episode that you would recommend new listeners go and check out first on your platforms?
So we've had some amazing people on our podcast. I don't know if I can say the name of the episode.
I was waiting on it.
So go ahead. If it's a foul word, fucking do it.
Actually, I should tell you, I think it's episode, I'm going to let Liz say it, though. She'll do it. It's episode 4 of Late Night Ghouls podcast.
Nice.
Stomach vagina.
Stomach vagina. Wow. Okay.
Now that is our Videodrome episode. And I don't know why. And that was just the beginnings of things and us just fooling around. And we've gotten such feedback on that one episode alone. So that might be a good gateway episode for people that are not accustomed to hearing us speak, just to get a little taste of how we are.
Nice. God, I love Cronenberg, so I will have to also go back and check out that episode. I mean, yeah, it's such an interesting, to talk about Cronenberg. Yeah, it's always nuanced. There's always amazing subtext going on, with any of his works.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is a blend of sci-fi, body horror, and dystopian, and just everything going on at one time. He's one of my top 3, I would say, favorite filmmakers. And one of the other things that brought us together. So
wow, that's cool. Can you tell us about some of the next episodes you might have in store? What do we have to look forward to Late Night Ghouls?
I don't know if we can give away our secrets.
Okay.
I mean, we have a surplus. We have so many ideas that we actually can't get time to do them all. We should start just marketing those. Like, you have a podcast. We don't feel like doing this one. You can have this.
You can have it. We'll write it for you. We have one out Friday.
Cool.
That's going to be really, really good and trauma related, and Mahoning Drive-In. affiliated as well. They're about to have the Trauma Fest there, not this weekend, but next. So with a guest from Mahoning that also plays Toxie. His name is JT. He's awesome.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that'll be awesome. So I'll definitely make sure to check that episode out. And of course, everybody that's listening out there, make sure you check out that episode too. And of course, the Cronenberg episode 4. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah. And of course, I can't wait for you guys to pitch your mermaid film. I feel like we've shopped that around pretty good tonight. But do you have any? You mentioned Trauma Dance. Will the two of you be hosting any film festivals in the near future?
We're trying to make plans. We both work a lot, so we're trying to make plans for stuff to do in the fall. But whatever we do decide, I'm sure we'll announce repeately to whoever can listen, because I'll be so excited to see her again.
Nice. Yeah. Are you usually looking at events on the East Coast or central locations?
Really, it doesn't matter. We're just we're looking at things where it's going to be wherever we go, it's going to be beneficial on both ends. So that's what we're looking at, and it's like she said, our schedules are insane. So it's being able to finagle things to make it happen. Chattanooga Film Fest happened, and that was amazing, and we're hopefully we can make that an annual thing. I work for them anyways, so hopefully we'll make that an annual Late Night Ghouls spectacle.
That's cool. The out here we've got the Telluride Horror Show in the small town of Telluride, Colorado. Nice, pretty cool little mountain town. So I think we're going to be attending that. Finally, it's about an 8-hour drive from Denver. So that becomes a little bit of a trip, but that's definitely one that I'd recommend looking into for out here. But when it comes to like horror culture, not horticulture, what has been your experience with like horror conventions and the like? Have you found them to be pretty endearing, I should say, with attendees, or is it kind of a mixed bag?
We just did an episode with the filmmakers of the film Once and Future Smash, and it's their capture of con culture on that film is pretty perfect. Nice. And it's just I live with a con culture person. Like nice. It is very endearing because it's exciting. You get to go, you get to meet people, you get to see. Not only do you get to meet your idols, basically, and talk to them, have things signed, have your memorabilia signed. You're seeing people that in the horror community online too. People you've probably never met in real life, or that you maybe only get to meet in real life at those cons. So that it's a family type atmosphere, and I love that.
Yeah, it's Kim. Has your experience been the same? I don't know if you attend too often.
Well, it's also what she was saying about seeing people in person, but I usually require at least a 1-year buffer before I can have somebody randomly walk up to me online and tell me, I know you from the internet. So the element of surprise got me a few times.
Nice.
You start making a contract. This is a 1-year clause. You cannot approach me in real life.
I'm very awkward, and I will probably shoot up in the air like Bugs Bunny.
I know the feeling. I run a convention and I still have anxiety issues too. Yeah. I think we need to walk around with like disclaimers on the backs of our shirts. That way nobody startles us. Yeah.
Startles
No,
easily.
yeah. Very
Yeah.
very much. Maybe like a little cutout, cardboard cutout of a thought bubble. It's like, we'll startle easy. Please do not approach.
I
Do not
feel
touch.
like being a horror addict exposed me to an early age of being scared by myself, and
Wow.
I fervorized myself to it, and then being scared in public because you're startled is like a totally different thing, and I'm just not ready for that. I can
Right.
watch whatever movie I want all day long, but being scared in public, I'm just gonna bolt.
It's a whole nother
Sure.
ball game.
No, I totally understand that. Yet, working in that, and providing content too that you do with the podcast and then hosting shows. Is there something like at screenings and at horror conventions that you would love to see that nobody's really doing?
I appreciate screenings at cons. Cinema Wasteland will do a really great job of putting together screenings and events where you can. I haven't been in so long, but one that they did in particular that stands out to me is when they screened Romero's Martin. And
Right.
it was amazing, and they had Tom Savini in attendance and members that were still alive of the cast, and were able to really talk through things that, like, for me and horror fans, that's what I want as a horror fan. Is I want to learn more, and I want to know what happened, and I want to know goofy stories from working on the set, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of fun to me. I'm I'm not so much I mean, I am a collector, but I'm not so much a collector. I like to go and look at artwork.
Mhm.
So that I do appreciate is other people's artwork. But like going in and buying trinkets and stuff like that, I can I don't want to say I can do without. I appreciate it and I will find things, but I like being immersed in film. So when
Yeah.
I go to cons, I want to be immersed in something with film.
Yeah, we get a lot of compliments, like what you said about knowing some of the backstory to everything. But I feel like like how people read tabloids, we just sit around and read like horror backstories for fun, and just like
Right.
that ability to like it's like looking for that encyclopedia you should have had in the secret bookcase. Like
Right.
that's the encyclopedia set I wanted, and I just have to go all over the internet looking for it and then tell someone about it. So someone
She and
tunes in.
I were the kids that were watching the Gorgon back interviews on the videos, and we were watching the full moon featurettes. Like, we were the ones that wanted that on the
Mhm.
VHS
Mm-hmm.
and the film. So like I want to learn, I want to know more, and I would appreciate that so much more in cons. Although, it's not, I have to remember it's not about me. And there are people that, like I said, I live with one that love trinkets and things and want to go and buy things, and that's great too. Commerce is a great thing, especially for small businesses.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. No, that's awesome. Yeah, uh, Kim, Liz, yeah, thanks very much for being so generous with your time. Yeah, our time's just about up. Um, you know, is there something that we haven't touched up on that you would like to comment on?
No, I think I'm good. We've got a new episode coming out Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So just look for us on all major streaming services and Buzzsprout. That's our base.
Nice. Yeah. So for everybody that's tuning in right now, we've got the Buzzsprout link that's streaming down below. Make sure to get a screenshot of that, and head over there and just dive right into to Late Night Ghouls podcast. It's very enriching. It's it's incredibly endearing. You guys do such an amazing job, and you do so much amazing research. So yeah, me as a fan, thank you so much for coming on the show. And of
Thank
course,
you.
I can't wait to hear your original stories and your original film pitches too. So let us know when you do that, those episodes.
Well, we are proof that if you want to start a podcast with your best friend and you think nobody will listen, we're proof that someone will. So
We're also-
we encourage you.
That's the big thing. We're proof of when you do something and you think nobody's going to listen to this. They are going to listen to this. Watch what you say.
That's right.
Don't say stomach, vagina.
Stomach, vagina. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. What a great visual.
Well, don't say a stomach vagina because we're going to copyright it. That's why. It's our favorite thing to say.
Very, very good. I can't wait for that short story. Jason just chimed in. Word. I've got 3 or 5 movies to go check out now.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Nice. Thanks, Jason. Again, it's been a privilege, having you come on and being able to chat with you and learn all the cool things that you guys are doing and how you're connecting the horror community as well. I think it's absolutely awesome. And everybody that's tuning in tonight should go and check out Late Night Ghouls on all your podcast platforms. And again, thanks for being so generous with your time. Ladies, stick around for a few minutes while we sign off. But again, I want to say thanks to our audience for tuning in. And of course, our sponsors, to Mutiny Information Cafe. If you're going to start a revolution, make sure you're caffeinated. And of course, to Hellfire Entertainment, thanks for rebroadcasting us on your social media. Groovy TV, and of course, Alien Donut Films and Angela Joseph Productions, to Bill and Angela, respectively. Thanks for all your support. And my producers that put up with me, Lily Fisher, Amanda Armstrong, Stefan Santa Cruz. Thanks so much, guys. And to everybody out there, hey, be good, be kind, help each other out during tough times, and stay